Hello everyone and welcome to The Beauty Shaman. So I'm here again today with Ben Fuchs, creator of Truth Treatment Skincare, and we just love to sit and rap about skincare and ingredients, and I love to learn from Ben and, giggle periodically. So today I thought we would, in this particular discussion, we're going to talk about the information and misinformation about retinol and retinoic acid. There's a lot of misinformation about this, and I'm very curious to learn about the difference in those two. And why should we care,
Sure.
In this big world of ours?
Sure.
So let's start with what are they, how are they different, and why do we care?
Well, first of all, I'm a pharmacist, and we are trained in pharmacy to understand how retinoic acid works because for many years, in fact, even still today, retinoic acid has a reputation for being the only anti-aging ingredient that works. And by that I mean a reputation.
So
right.
reputations are not always
That's
correct.
right. It has a reputation in the world of pharmacy. And the reason that's so is because retinoic acid is the only FDA, Food and Drug Administration, approved ingredient for reversing wrinkles.
Oh, interesting.
So the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, the US government actually approves of the use of retinoic acid for reversing wrinkles. There's no other ingredient on planet Earth that does that. So in pharmacy school, when we learn dermatology, when we study the skin, we study retinoic acid because it's the only FDA approved anti-aging, anti-wrinkle ingredient. That's why you need a prescription for it. What's more is retinoic acid also has powerful effects for acne. This is the same substance that works to slow down the hyperactivity that's associated with skin cells and sebum production in acne. So it's it's an amazing treatment for acne. And at the same time, it also has wrinkle fighting benefits. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Why is it that one molecule can help you with your acne and also help you with your photo damage?
Right.
It's because the skin, or skin cells actually, literally the skin cell, has receptors, has spaces. A receptor is a space on the outside of the cell. Cell is like to simplify it, a cell's like a circle. It's really a blob, but we'll call it a circle. And the outside of that circle has got little sockets, like an electrical socket. They're called receptors. And then there are certain things that fit into those sockets that initiate chemical reactions. It's basically how cells work. Got a circle, you got spaces on the outside of the circle, and certain things will hit inside the spaces, like a plug sits into a socket, and will initiate chemical reactions. Well, it turns out that cells have little spaces on them that are specifically designed for retinoic acid. That's amazing. You have an ingredient now that is so compatible to the cell that the cell actually has little spaces that attach to it, or that it attaches to.
It can receive that.
It receives
right.
it. They're called a receptor. It
right.
receives it, exactly. And not only that, when it receives it, it actually will get escorted into the cell. It actually binds to this receptor, and then it gets pulled into the cell, the whole complex, a receptor and the retinoic acid, get pulled into the cell, get escorted into the cell, and get escorted into the nucleus of the cell. Listen to me, Suzanne, this is huge. You put retinoic acid on top of your skin, and will migrate down to the cells. It's fatty. Remember fat solubility for penetration. Right. It'll get to the cells. It'll hit into those receptors. It'll get received, as you say, by the receptors. It'll get pulled into the cell. The receptor and the retinoic acid, the whole complex, will get pulled into the cell. It will get escorted through the cell to the nucleus, to the DNA, to the genetics, and it will literally upregulate and change the genetics, causing either the initiation of collagen production or a slowdown in cell division if you have acne.
So this is a major ingredient.
Major.
It's a majorly important ingredient.
It's even used to treat lung cancer. Oh. It's chemotherapy. This is a powerful, powerful ingredient, and that's why it's regulated by the FDA. It's prescription only, and it's super, super effective. Now, a couple things. First of all, there's three main. Retinoic acid works, and it works so well because it's a vitamin. Technically, it's vitamin A. Retinoic acid is active vitamin A. Right. But there's different forms of vitamin A.
Yes.
Right? So you can get some of the retinoic acid benefits with another form of vitamin A. There's three main forms of vitamin A. You have the active form of vitamin A, you have a storage form of vitamin A, and then you have a precursor to the active form that has to be turned into the active form. The precursor to vitamin A is used in a lot of products. You can find that in drugstore products and supermarket products. It's called retinol palmitate. It's okay, not very effective. It's okay. Retinoic acid, that's the kick butt form of vitamin A. That's the active form of vitamin A. But in between the pretty weak form of vitamin A, that's a storage form of vitamin A, and the active form of vitamin A, you have a middle ground. And that's the precursor to the active form. It has to be turned into the active form. It's not active itself. It's turned into the active form, and that's called retinol. I love retinol for a couple reasons. First of all, you don't need to go to the doctor to get it. Second of all, retinol can be turned into retinoic acid as needed. See, if you put retinoic acid on your skin, you're getting the active form of vitamin A. Your skin doesn't have an option. It's there. It's going to use that retinoic acid for better or worse. This can cause a little bit of problems because retinoic acid is super aggressive. Retinoic acid is very, very stimulating. So some people get red or get irritated or get inflamed. With retinol, you don't have those problems. Retinol, depending on how sensitive the skin is, retinol is much, much milder than retinoic acid because it gives the skin an option. The skins can say, you know what, we don't need any retinoic acid right now, so we're not going to convert you into active vitamin A. Or it might say, you know what, we need some retinoic acid here, so we're going to convert you. In other words, it gives the skin the ability to choose. If you just put retinoic acid on there, the skin doesn't have a choice. It's got retinoic acid, it's got the active form, it's got to use it. But if you put retinol on the skin gets a choice. It can say, I want to use it, I want to convert it, I want to make it active, or it can say, no, I don't want to make it active.
How do you get your skin to say yes to that?
The skin does it on its own. You don't do it.
Oh.
The skin does it as needed. If your skin senses that it needs to have some vitamin A, which most people do,
right,
it'll convert it. If the skin says it doesn't need it, it won't convert it. And this makes it weaker than retinoic acid, essentially functionally weaker because it's not hitting the cells with a big dose of active vitamin A, it's giving the skin an option. So it's roughly 100 times weaker than retinoic acid. So if you want to get really good retinoic acid benefits or vitamin A benefits with retinol, you've got to have a high concentration of it. You've got to have like 1% retinol or 2% retinol.
Now this is a really important point.
Yes.
I'm going to have you stop here because it is, I mean, I've seen, right? You think, oh, it's got retinol, right? And you hold it up.
It's a shame. It's
and
tragic.
It's such
unfair.
a low dose.
It's unfair.
And so many women say to me, yeah, I'm taking, I have
It's unfair.
retinol. And I'm like, what's the quantity? And they don't know.
It's unfair.
So let's talk about quantity.
You need to have a high concentration. By high concentration, I mean between 1 and 5%. 5% is a real kick butt concentration.
And most are what? 0.01,
0.01. They'll put it,
it's low.
Because the skincare business is not like medicine.
Right.
Skincare business is kind of like pretend.
Right.
You know, I never ever told you this story. When I was a kid, I had a. Did I ever tell you the story about my friend who had the Easy Bake Oven?
I don't think you've used that.
So,
one
so when I was a kid, there was a girl in town, and her dad owned a toy store. So she was the most popular kid in the neighborhood, obviously. And one day, Eileen, her name was Eileen, she calls me up and she says, "Ben, I just got an Easy Bake Oven. We're gonna bake cookies." And I was like 7 years old, and I was all excited. We're gonna bake cookies. Went over to her house, and I looked at this thing, and I don't know if you've ever seen an Easy Bake Oven. It's got a little light bulb in it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this. I'm like a little suspicious, I remember. I was like, we're going to bake cookies in that thing? Yeah, we're going to bake cookies. And she pulls out the little tray and does the thing, puts the mix in there and everything. And then she pulls out 10, 15 minutes later, she pulls out the cookies, and she takes these tweezers, and she pulls the cookie out with tweezers. And it's like about as big as a pencil eraser, this cookie that I was going to eat. And I was like, that's my cookie? That's pretend. And that's what skincare is. That's what I think of. It's pretend.
That's true.
It's let's play skincare, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
You wouldn't play let's play heart disease.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't play let's play take care of our heart if you had a bad heart, or let's pretend take care of your liver, or let's pretend let's take care of your bones. Why should we play let's pretend with the skin? When you use a retinol product that has 0.1% retinol, or 0.01%, or 0.2%, which is what a lot of products will contain, you're doing let's pretend skincare. And if you want to do let's pretend skincare, that's great. But I don't believe in let's pretend skincare. When I'm formulating a product, it's real. It's medicine, it works, it's therapeutic, and you're going to know you put it on your skin. So when I'm formulating a retinol product, I'm formulating 5% retinol, which is ridiculous, some people say. But because of my formulation expertise, and I've been doing this for a long time, I figured out a way to get retinol in high concentration that people can use on a regular basis without causing a lot of aggressiveness on their skin.
Having said that, you got to kind of test it.
You got to be intelligent,
see, right? You got
Yes.
to be smart about it. Just put it all over your face, and
because people are not dumb.
Right.
You know, they're sophisticated enough to have real tools, and that's what these are. These are real tools for beautification of the skin. You can tell you've got an effective retinol product if your skin lightens, if your fine lines start to fade, your wrinkles start to fade, if you notice your skin is thicker. And here's another thing about retinol. It turns on the production of natural moisture factors. See, when we have dry skin, we're conditioned to believe that we put something on our skin that's a coating of wax and oil. What's that called? It's called a moisturizer, right? Which I have a degree in journalism, and I'm very conscious of my words.
Right.
And that's one of the silliest words in the English language, moisturizer. Like you're going to actually put moisture on your skin with a concoction of wax and oil and grease and silicone and all the other things that you put in your so-called moisturizer. And to make matters worse, when we put a moisturizer on our skin, we take our finger and we rub it along and we say, oh, that feels nice, that feels lovely. What have we done? Have we changed our skin at all? No, we're feeling the wax and we're feeling the oil, but we've been conditioned through magic, through marketing magic, through smoke and mirrors to believe that what we're touching is something we've changed in our skin. What I think, my belief is, when I'm formulating a product, is let's up-regulate, my favorite word in biochemistry, up-regulate. Let's up-regulate. Let's make things happen. When you use retinol on your skin, you are up-regulating your natural hyaluronic acid. You are up-regulating your natural moisture factors. You are up-regulating your natural squalane. You are up-regulating your skin's inherent moisturizer, which to me as a chemist and as a formulator, as a pharmacist, is a much more elegant way, a much more real way of moisturizing the skin instead of superficially putting something on the skin. So retinol is a middle ground between vitamin A that doesn't really do much and super active vitamin A that requires a prescription. Retinol gives you all the anti-aging benefits you could want from a skincare product, including thickening the skin, including making a stronger barrier, including more collagen production, including fading dark spots. And retinol is one of the best skin lighteners you could ever use. And bonus, when you use retinol, you're up-regulating, my favorite word in biochemistry, you're up-regulating your skin's natural moisture factors, so your skin will be really moist, really hydrated, really soft, not superficially, not simulated, not imitation, real moisturization from the inside out. Why simulate when you can stimulate?
Well, absolutely. And I think it's an important point, and I kind of want to bring this up for myself, is that I get approached a lot for a lot of cosmetic lines and skincare lines to do a sort of a review or to talk about their product online. I would say 95% of those that approach me, when I really get into it, I look at their retinol content and I look at the other.
They probably hate you.
Well, I look at it and I'm like, what am I going to say? I'm gonna like shred you because this is ineffective, and I know it's ineffective.
Yes.
And I think it's important for you, the consumer, to really, really wisen up to a lot of what Ben is talking about. Is that what we're given, and you know, if I go to their website, we'll have before and afters, and we have you know, testimonials and all these things. Really what you have to do is just shove all that to the side and say, what percentage?
All that. And if they're not telling you,
right.
If they don't tell you, then they don't want you to know.
That's exactly right. And I actually emailed a company recently, this was like last week, and I said, by the way, who's the CEO? Because it didn't say on the website. Who's running the company? Who owns the company? And what is the quantity of retinol?
Did they answer?
They emailed back and they said, you need to email the company directly, not us, and this is what you need to say. This is so in other words, we're not even going to answer this. And this was the customer service rep was told, don't answer that question. And I thought, even if I do email you, you're not going to respond. That's very scary.
It is.
They asked me to do a review.
And they wouldn't tell you.
And they wouldn't tell me. And I thought that's indicative. So I think as a consumer, you know, what you're talking about is you don't even have to email the company. What you have to do is say what percentage
that's
of
right.
this is
you shouldn't have to email
right.
the company.
You should. That's right. Yeah, it's very important.
And that's where being an ingredient deck reader becomes important.
Right.
Just like you said earlier, when you're buying food in the supermarket, read the ingredients.
Right.
When you're getting skincare, you shouldn't be paying any less attention and less care on your skincare products, which I like to call, by the way, skin health products. That's what my products are, skin health products. You shouldn't be paying less attention to your skin products, your topical products, than you are to your food.
Right. And the truth is, if you do use the high concentrated retinol that you're talking about, since
less.
that's our subject, is you need less,
Yes.
and you will notice a difference.
You'll notice a
You
difference.
will know. It's not like, oh, I
Yes.
guess I see a difference.
Yes.
No, you
yes.
will notice
If you're
a difference.
using an effective product,
Yes.
it's not like I guess. Exactly.
Yes, like my age
Exactly.
spot has gone down. Like
Yes.
you couldn't even see it, right? I'm like,
Exactly
see
right.
that? He's like, no. Well, that's
Exactly
because it's gone.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for talking about this subject. I think this is very important. I mean, we've kind of gone back to one of the similar kind of results of all this, which is learn how to read an ingredient
Yes,
deck. Learn
yes.
ingredients, learn quantities, Ask questions. If it's not on the website, it's because they don't want you to know. If there's 50 ingredients, just put it back
and you know
on
what?
the shelf.
I should also tell you one other thing. Sometimes companies will put key ingredients, and they won't tell you the ingredients.
Yes, that's very common.
It's kind of a trick.
Yeah.
They put key ingredients, but that doesn't tell you anything because you got to know how much of those key ingredients are really in the product, and that's important. You want to see the entire ingredient deck.
Yeah.
You want to know everything that's in your product.
And I think my kind of feel, and with all of this and with the food that we eat, because it's like you said, it is food, is the research really matters, and the research is up to me.
Yes.
I am responsible for this. I can't hold the company responsible, the marketing director is responsible.
Right.
I am responsible for this, to find
As a
out.
consumer.
As a consumer,
That's
I'm
right.
responsible.
That's right.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching this. I hope this has been enlightening to all of you. And please watch our other interviews where we talk about vitamin C and health and nutrition and all kinds of important things to do with your skin. So have an awesome day and look into your ingredient decks.